What up, world? It's the Super Fact Show. Your boy Mark Walter Ward. Today we're joined by Keisha Starr, aka Dr. Keisha Wizard, Ph.D. She has her own publishing company. I think it'd be doing it injustice to call it self-publishing. It's a legitimate enterprise. Right now she's got Jamaica Me Go Crazy, Volume 1 and Volume 2 out. She's been published in several anthologies of short stories, articles. You know, we'll just get right into it. You came to my attention when I got added to your writer group on Facebook, and the first thing I saw was a blog. I guess you call it a blog post, or article, whatever. It's a well-written thought piece about sis be his significant other, not his mother.
Yes, 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 yes.
So was that something you were witnessing that compelled you to write that?
Yes. I have my doctorate's degree in multidisciplinary approach to human services, but my certification is in marriage and family and couple system counseling. I work in the school system, and so I'm a family service coordinator. So one thing I noticed, which, during the pandemic is when I noticed it the most. I think I started to like zero in on it. There were a lot of parents that were calling in, which was understandable. Hey, a lot was let off from work. And people's lives got flipped upside down. They didn't know what was going on. So yes, we were there to serve and help. But I started noticing a lot of parents saying, my kid, they need food. We don't know how they're going to eat. We don't know how they're going to do this. We don't know how to do that. And even when we started and we opened back up the school system and we had the, distant learning, I don't have a computer. When we did get the computers, it's like, I don't have a way to walk one block down to pick up the laptop. Why can't y'all drop it off? Why can't you do this? And then I started to, because I am that family service coordinator that they probably won't like, because I will find your social media page, because I'm the type, I'm very passionate when I'm helping. So whether I get a grant to help you or not, if my heart tell me that you need this help, I'm gonna reach out to my mother. I'm gonna reach out to my social network. I'm gonna reach out to my friends, say, hey, we gotta put this up for this parent. This on the strength of me. So before I reach out to my own family and friends and networks of supporters and people that's going through their own struggle too, to help you, I'm gonna see, do you really need the help? So I start, looking on social media and I see vacation with Bay. Took Bay here on his birthday. It's Miami. It's a whole pandemic. You're in Miami for Bay's birthday, but then you're calling and saying that you don't know how your child is going to eat, Right. And it was more than that. I started saying, I think the Jordans came out. This is in the middle of the pandemic where everybody's not supposed to have anything. And I'm saying, my caseload is up here, but I'm noticing that my caseload don't compare to nothing like them Jordans when they came out. Or the what's that? What is it? I don't know these game systems.
PS5?
But I think PS5, Jesus, when they came out, it was like, I seen parents doing research, going in every group. Hey, who have this? How can I get this? How can I do that? And I'm like, why didn't you have that same energy for your child laptop when school started? And it was just like, I have witnessed a lot of, not saying you can't hold your man down.
Right.
I would never say that, because it should go both ways. Hold your man down. But if holding him down, if you're holding a man down and neglecting being a parent, that's where I seem to call it out. I just call bullshit. Sorry, if I don't know if I can cuss.
Oh yeah, most assuredly.
Okay, so I call bullshit on that, and that's when and my blog is where I go to and vent, because I can't really say it to the parents, so I go vent because fortunate for me, a lot of my parents, I'm from Park Heights, and that's in Baltimore, and a lot of my parents, I work in that same district too, so a lot of my parents follow me. They follow me. They follow my page, so they know exactly how I feel, and I want them to know, like, yeah, if the shoe fit, then put it on your goddamn feet. If you felt that it was directed towards you, even if I don't know your situation, it probably is, So, that's where it came from.
Whether the man in question is a grifter or just lazy, sometimes, let's say some women may be more kind-hearted than they should be, or maybe more naive about the intentions of the man that they're with.
Yes.
So, you know, the first step to solving a problem is realizing that you have a problem.
Acknowledging it.
So if someone was unaware or was questioning if that was going on, what advice would you give them on how to analyze if it was, like you said, like a partnership, you know, holding your man down, he holds you down, or if it's, you know.
Any man that's willing to watch you struggle is not holding down no more. You're not holding him down. He's actually lifting you up. He's not lifting you up. Like you're up here and you're on top of him now. Because there's no way a man, whether he lost his job or not, gonna feel comfortable with his woman getting up every day, busting her butt, taking her last or her paycheck to buy him a pair of Jordans or a game system or stuff like that. So you should know the difference. Now, if your man is down and he said, hey, you know, I'm trying to get a tow truck. I'm trying to get my own job. I'm trying to start my own business. Yes, if he's worth it. You know, I'm like, you know, you should know if he's worth it or not. Then don't meet a man today and go invest in him tomorrow, you know. But yes, if you with your man 10 toes down, hold him down, you know. But if he's looking at you going to work, that's probably not, because, you know, a real man, I don't care if he's 50. He better be outside there with them squeegee boys.
Yeah.
Listen.
Selling some newspapers like Bubbles or something, huh?
Do something. You better do something with this, you know, like get up and do something, you know, and make it happen. Don't go rob. I ain't saying go rob or steal. No. But what Bean said, was it Bean? He said, you know, if my shoes start leaning and, you know, if my family hungry, freeway, I snatch the dishes out your kitchen. I ain't saying go snatch no dishes out no kitchen, but I'm saying go to McDonald's and go snatch up a Big Mac and sell it and get that and get your family fed. So that's where I'm at with it.
That's a perfect segue. Like just now, I wasn't being rude. I was looking at your article. You said something that struck me. You said if he's lacking financially, socially, emotionally, spiritually, etc., he must make a conscious effort to fill those voids, not his woman. Yeah. So what I want to know specifically, what advice would you give a man who realized that he's struggling socially, emotionally, or spiritually, and wanted to do some self-work? Like how does that begin? What does that look like?
First, acknowledge it. We all fall down. Don't take the blame. Don't feel bad about it. Feel some guilt about it. Use that to motivate you. We all have some type of abilities, something that I think everybody have a talent. And when I look at the background on some of the most successful people, they don't even have I have the degree. They don't even have high school diplomas, but they have struggle, you know, and sometimes struggle could be more powerful than a PhD.
Yes,
because it motivates you. Like when you have no way and you got to make a way, you know, it motivates you. So I said, you turn your struggles into strengths and, you know, just don't be scared to ask someone, you know, like don't have that, what's the word I'm looking for? It's right at the tip of my tongue. When some people are just like shame, like pride. Don't have too much pride. If another man or woman is doing something that you really need to do and you think you need to do it, like, hey, show me how to do that. Let me work. You already ain't getting paid. So say, hey, I'll work for you for free for this first month. And, you know, you just look at my potential and see if I'm worth you hiring. Put yourself out there because you already sitting home not working, you know, so consider it as an internship. Pursuit of Happiness. Will Smith, the movie. He was, look at him, his wife left, him and his son was sleeping in the bathroom, you know, at the train station. He didn't, and that's a true story. And you can follow that man on YouTube and you watch him tell his story. He had nothing. And then when he saw that car pull up and that rich man get out, he said, what do I need to do? What do you do? Because I want to be like, whatever you do, I want to do it. And the man was like, you know, basically the Wall Street, the stocks or whatever he was doing. And he went in line, but when he took the job, he thought it was a paying gig. And then they was like, no, this is like a competition. You working for free just to see only one person go get hired. And it's all these people going after it. He could have walked away right there. But what was he going to lose? He was still sleeping on a pissy bathroom. Go work for free. You know, if it's worth it, get up and go get it. I also say it's a lot of programs out there, especially for men. I see it. You have Centers for Urban Family. They have a whole male program. If you need your GED, are you in Baltimore? Because I'm saying, I'm sorry, because I'm talking like that's in Baltimore. So yeah, I'm just using,
I'm in Tampa. I'm from Maryland though. I'm from PG County.
Okay. Well, Tampa, so I'm saying talking like Maryland, but just it got to be other programs like that. This is a universal thing too. So it may not be Centers for Urban Family, but I will go research what programs is available, because right now there's a lot of programs that's available for males, because they're finding that a lot of males don't get supported, females. People are more sympathetic and empathetic to females sometimes than males. It's almost
you mean like men are expected to be tough and tough it out and man up, cowboy up, whatever culture you're coming from. Yeah,
yes. Most definitely. And I think that is a universal thing. The man is expected to be you good, but no, they humans too. So that's why I even said from the beginning, women don't be afraid to hold your man down. I ain't saying don't hold him down. What I'm saying is if he using you, then lift his ass up and put him out, and especially don't neglect your child. But there's programs out there. I know that in Maryland, there's some 211. You could call 211. And I don't know, in Tampa, I guarantee, because these stuff are usually universal. I'm just speaking on a social, from a human services perspective. You could call 211 and it's open 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And pretty much any human services problem you have, you say, hey, my BG about to get cut off. They say, what's your zip code? And you give them your zip code, and these are 3 companies, organizations in your area that's helping have funds to help you pay, so, and there's a lot of programs for men too, GED programs. They have a lot of them that you could get your GED plus your degree at the same time. I know we got that in Maryland too. It's a program where you can take your GED while you're taking college courses, so you're not like stagnant, like you already ahead of the game. And this is across the board. If you could get on social media every day, I think most people, I hate the fact when people ask me, how you do it? I know getting your PhD was hard. I'm like, yeah, it was, it's not easy. You're doing a lot of research. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't be on no computer. I can't type for such and such. And I'll be sitting there like going that page and like, but you was on social media all damn day. Even at work, if you could sit and type and go back and forth and post and respond and
you are so right. I stopped playing video games because I started dealing with rappers and I see them record, right? Yeah. And I was like, if I can play this video game, I could definitely learn how to use Pro Tools.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
And what's a more fruitful use of your time? You can charge
exactly.
People. You can to do audio engineering or whatever work they might need for Pro Tools. Very few people are going to get paid off video games.
I can tell you right now, with every leisure thing that you do, I can tell you that it has skills to do something major that can basically work it out for you. Like for me, I love to write. I love to help people. So that's what I did. I went into and then not only that, I've been there. The stuff that I go through, I've went through some like I have a big supportive family. Let me say that.
Yeah, you must have a hell of a support network. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised to find out just now that you have a job teaching. Not that I don't think you have this, or counseling at a school. Not that I don't think you have the faculties, but the facilities, but the time.
Yeah, I have. I got 2 sons, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old. I have a fiance. Right before I got on, that's what I came in.
You out here writing whole real books. Can we see those books?
Yes.
Please.
So this is part 1. Just making me go crazy, part 1. And y'all know I always keep it a fan. It's my cousin on it. Shout out to Simone. That's my bestie. And this is part 2. Shout out to my cousin Courtney. And I have, the other. Let me see my other books. I'm in my stuff.
Hey, while you're looking at that, can I ask you something?
Yes.
How come every time somebody writes a book, a romance novel, and the people in love are Black, it's got to be urban? Why can't it just be a romance novel?
I've been saying that.
Because I've seen so-called urban novels, and they take place in like North Carolina.
Yeah.
in a totally non-urban environment, unless urban doesn't mean.
I'm so happy you said that. I always, one of the things, I wish I had someone here, because I always tell everybody, they be like, you're an urban fiction writer. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm a writer. You know,
Right.
like, yes, I wrote, they just happen to be African Americans, they Black, and you know, they from my city. You know, of course, when I'm writing for my city, but by all means, excuse me, I can write in any genre that you give me. And I'm learning, like I have something called First Chapter, where different authors come on my page every Thursday and they read the first chapter of their book. And for the life of me, I couldn't believe there were Black people writing paranormal books. Like, cause I would see that and be like, oh, I don't think, what's that about ghosts and stuff? I'm like, you know, I don't think I'm going to be interested. So, you know, I'll just keep scrolling and scrolling. And then they come on here and they start reading their book. And I'm sitting here like, well, what the hell? Like, I relate to the characters. I can vision, and you know, I can visualize the scene and the settings and stuff. And I'm like, wait, that's actually dope. So I think sometimes, like you said, you don't have to put the word urban on. That's just a romance.
Well, like let's say that you said that they pigeonhole you as an urban romance writer, right?
They put me as an urban fiction.
Urban fiction, but okay. So let's say you're writing a romance novel, and the girl fall in love with somebody look like me. I mean, I'm from Maryland. I had Black girlfriends before.
Yeah.
So is this now is it urban?
They still would call it urban. It's almost, listen, and that's the fact of it. If you have look in real life, if you and one of your girlfriends have a baby, your baby is African American. They won't say it's fully, like, they're not gonna say this baby and break down everything. You could have some Russian, you could have a Chinese grandmother. They're not gonna break it down and everything.
Now you're right, because if a Latino and an Asian person had a child, that child can mark what they want. But if a Black and a white person have a kid, that child is Black according to America. That child
is Black. You know, there's nowhere on there that says you know, Black what, or you don't break it down enough like that. You're Black. You know, and so sometimes I do want to break that, because urban fiction get a bad I want to say stigma sometimes. It's a lot of critique and critical comments about the urban fiction genre. They call it ghetto.
They assume like, the writers aren't as skilled.
They're not skilled but if you think about it, a lot
of times that's self-published books, right? And if it's self-published, you don't have a copy editor, so then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes, you said. Listen, a lot of it's hard to get to one of those major five, because they call it the major five. You can look at publishing companies, really. So honestly, you send your books in and you get that letter, the rejection letter. You start seeing it a lot of times. Thank God, you know, kind of learn how to self-publish and get yourself out of there, because a lot of people wouldn't even have a book out. You know, it's just like the music industry. You trying to get the Def Jam, you trying to get the Universal Records, you try to get all over, and they turn you down. So what you do? You go start your own little, you know, so Def or whatever. Even though they under the major, but you start your own little record company, get a buzz going, and then you have the big record companies coming to you. You know, that's how it would be in urban fiction too. And I can say this too. I come out and say it. A lot of people that jump in urban fiction, because I think they feel that it's like the bottom of the barrel, or it's easy. Oh, that's easy. All you got to do is write this. They think there's no skill to it. And in fact, it is. You need more skills than actually some of the other ones to make it even seem credible, because you got to realize people that's reading this is looking at it like, I live this every day for real. You know, like, so what you said, you can't do that. You know, you got to do, like, you really have to know it. You have to know the craft of it. I always, even though there's a lot of people saying,
book binding, you know, like if you use the wrong kind of glue, your book falling apart in a year, you know?
Yes.
Or like I noticed just now, your covers were extremely professional looking.
Yeah, because listen, I sent out I'll pay the money. Even my editor is signed to a major. My editor books is about to come out on Lifetime as movies now. Tyler probably got her book. So it's coming on the 17th and the 10th. She Gonna Kill Me. It's Envy and Lust by Victoria Christopher Murray. But she started off as my editor, but she was doing editing when even though she signed to a major, publishing company, she's still getting that money. But guess what? It was a difference. Like when I first was looking for an editor, they had some editors that one was charging me like $200. And I'm like, all right. You had another person said $5. And I'm looking, and then, my editor was way into the thousands, and I'm like, oh shit, like, what's the difference? And I start looking, and I'm like, yeah, can you show me an example of the book you added? And when you look at the difference, you see it. And I'm like, I'd rather pay this extra money, this extra hundreds or the 1,000 to put on it over your book, because yes, you're gonna give me a $200. It's quick, but it's not gonna be, it's gonna be words in it, misspelled. I'm not an editor, I'm a writer. So I try to write my book as best as I can. I don't just write it and say, oh, it's the editor's job to go fix it. No, I write it to the best of my ability, and then I pay someone professional to use their expertise to make it better.
Yeah, but I mean, those some thick books. You can't edit that yourself. Like you're human. Like you can have a book that thick and get every semicolon right.
Yes, you cannot. And let me tell you, it's the editing process, man. I don't think people even know. You got to go back and forth with your editor. Well, a real editor is going to edit your book. You got to, so imagine.
You got to let your babies go.
I had to reread it. I had to go back and fix everything that she put in there, then reread it, then send it back to her. And guess what she did? Chop it up even more. Boom, 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 the second round. I had to go back, put everything she finished, reread it again, all over. I've read this book probably so much that I got tired of the characters, and I knew them. I was like, man, fuck Jamaica. And I was like, I kept saying it. I was like, I'm tired of Jamaica. Like, fuck Jamaica, man. Like, I just want to get it over with. Like, I'm reading this book so much. But it was well worth it at the end. It was well worth it at the end.
So speaking of being well worth it at the end, you said you work in Park Hill, or you're from Park Hill?
No, I work in Park Heights and from Park Heights. So my family is from Jamaica. I was born here, but my mom and father was from Jamaica, and my family, all my families from Jamaica. And I was raised, they call it Little Kingston in Park Heights in Baltimore. And my family
does Little Kingston produce many PhDs?
You know what? There's not a lot. I not saying there's not, but I think I'm like one. I think that's why I love the support I got. Some people would have been like, people say they have haters. I don't. I didn't. I actually got love from my community and love from my friends, especially the ones that went to elementary and middle school and high school with me. And, even the ones that wasn't with my AA degree, like when I came with my PhD, they probably reposted and put it more than I did. So, and it was so funny because I'm from Park Heights, and I said the PH stands for Park Heights. So, and I said it like, this is for us. And so what I did was, as soon as I seen a job in the Park Heights area, why wouldn't I come work in my same community and build that and help my parents? But that's why I'm hard on them too. That's why I am on your social media page. And I'm going to call y'all and say, why is little Mookie walking down the street and he only 4 to the store to get something, when you and Rhino or whoever, Black Michael, whoever you got, you live, and y'all laid up in the bed, and you doing all of this, hey, babe, your child is walking down the street, and I am the one that will come underneath their post, especially if I know you personally. I come in your inbox, get off of Facebook and go get your child. Because I teach a expressive writing course. So it's called Write for My Soul, where I teach how to heal from trauma, mental health illness, or just, making sure your mental wellness is secured. And we use expressive and creative writing to do it. And so one thing I teach them, we all go through different, in each stages, Eric Erickson said, that each stages of life, you have some type of challenge you need to conquer. And depending on how you handle that challenge, you'll see it manifest itself later on in life. So, like for instance, when a child is out there not getting love and affection and the attention and support and all that they need, you're going to see it. You may not see it right away, but when that man is 40 years old and that man is out there, don't know how to love a woman, don't know with a family, you have about 50 damn kids with 60, like, 30, like he's just kids all over the place, women all over the place. His life is in shambles, not stable, nothing. Well, he didn't learn it. And I say it's a lot of and this pandemic I think showed it too. It's a lot of young parents who are learning that what they're doing is not right simply because of social media now that put I want to say a microscope on it. And you have people that may post someone, everybody picking up their phone and recording stuff. Right. So you have people because you'll have a girl and she posting in her drawers, they call it thirst trap. I listen, if you shape good, go ahead and do you. I don't care what you do. But look in the background and make sure your damn stove clean. Don't be in the bathroom doing selfie shots and your toilet bowl is yellower than Big Bird. Like, it's those little stuff. So you got people that's doing that, and then you have some that people will jump into the comments like, ew. And then, and she did not know that what she was doing was wrong. Because why? Because probably her mother had a dirty house. And her mother probably had a dirty house. And they didn't know how to parent. I had someone that actually looked at my face and didn't know why I was looking at it crazy because she left her 4-year-old and her 2-year-old with her 8-year-old, damn near all night. Like she watched her brother and sister. How, Sway? I'm like, what? Social service could come for you. And it's like, no, she good. Trust me. And I used to watch my sisters all the time. I don't see what's the big deal. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. You don't see the big deal. Because, like you did, like she said, she watched her brothers and sisters because her mother was out there, with the Funkadelics back then, So, and then she left you. And so now you leaving your child and you don't know until somebody pointed out. So sometimes when I point it out, I never point out stuff to be mean. Even if I do it in laughter, sometimes it's just like you just need a wake up or a shake up. And I'm not perfect. I don't have it all the way together at all. Like, honestly, I don't want to say I have it perfect, but I had some good guidance. I had a village. They say it take a village to raise a child. I was raised with not one set of family, 2 sets. I had 3 sets of family because my uncle's wife family was so close that nobody don't know who, like even now, they be like, wait a minute. So if your uncle married her, how's she your aunt and such and such? And I'd be like, don't ask no questions. Like that's how close our family is. So you can't tell. And I have had that. Like if my eyes close today and tomorrow I have a village. I know my brothers and sisters, I know my kids go eat, I know they good, I have a fiance that I know is going to be good. I have that village, but some people don't have that. And just try to teach them the other ways and let them know that even if you don't have a village, go create one. Go create your own little village. Go find
I want to salute you because, I grew up in Oxon Hill. I grew up where I could walk over the DC line. Like I didn't really go to school.
I know Oxon Hill a little.
I didn't really go to school with too many white people until, ironically, I went to a black college. But I think it's so important that you stayed in the community because, when I was growing up, people would become doctors, lawyers, whatever, and leave. Yeah. And youngsters, especially, like, I grew up with crack, like when crack, I'm 43. I saw all of that. And, I definitely started seeing the lack of male role models because of over incarceration and all that stuff, but also the fact that everyone who succeeded in any way left and never came back. After a generation, you got kids that never actually saw anyone who were successful because at the point they were successful, they weren't there. So they need people like you as proof of concept. So I want to commend you for that.
No, I thank you. And I want to say it could go 2 ways too, because it be our own people too sometimes. Like for instance, I know someone who it was crazy. My fiance has a podcast too called Cards Face Up, and is an advocate that's here. He worked for Safe Street, which is like they basically get people like that's in the streets, that's reformed and stuff. So they pay them to go in the streets and speak to the killers and the drug dealers and the murderers. Like, it was a beef going on, they paid them to go try to, mend it. And it was a guy who was doing that. and my fiance had album up, like when he record, you said, I mean, you recording, usually when he record, I'm over in the cut, you know, maybe doing something, but he was talking to the guy. And I just remember hearing the guy, how passionate he was, you know, and he was talking, he was keeping it real, and he was talking about being in the gang, you know, and it was another guy that was on there that was a former gang, that was still in the gang, I think, or he was former, but they were just talking about gangs. And, you know, he was just saying, you know, if it was anything he could do, he'll teach everybody to just love each other and do stuff, you know. And mind you, by no, you watch The Wire. Have you seen The Wire?
Yeah,
The Wire is
certainly.
okay. Yeah. So the Barksdale family, the guy is a Barksdale. And I think the man who is The Wire is centered on, he's his nephew. So of course he's big in Baltimore, and he's talking about that. One thing he never did was left where he was from. He said that. He said it was important for him to stay right there, advocate and do everything. I lied to you not. He did that interview with my fiance at 9 o'clock. Like, let's say, no, yeah, it was like 9:30. The interview was over, I want to say 10:30. And by 11:15, someone was calling my fiance saying that he just got murdered. And I was like, I was my fiance. I was like, couldn't be. Like, you just got on the phone with him, call him. Because, you know, I said, his name Dante. And I'm like, I want to say that's a common name. I said, maybe, you know, I'm guaranteed it's a lot of Dantes in Baltimore. So I was like, just call him. And, you know, he kept calling his phone. And I'm sitting here like, I know that man's voice I just heard not even an hour ago that was talking about non-violence and how to save the city. Yeah, and how he been out there really, is that like this what he get paid to do. He out there trying to save the city. I'm like, I know this man did not just die in the same spot. He was sick because he was in his car during the podcast interview. You could see that he was in the car. And they show that man died right there. So it be stuff like that you'd be like, yeah, you want to save everybody? I'm still here, you know, but then I have boys and stuff like that could be discouraging. So it's like, you want to help. You want to help so much. But then it's like, is this going to cost me? Is helping going to cost me? Especially when you're reaching out and you have a female that be like, well, mind your business and this. And then, you know, is it worth it? You know,
I mean, that might be true of living there though, but I mean, you still got a job there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Like
yes.
You might not necessarily have to live there, but make your presence felt. Come around.
Yes.
You know, show the kids that there's
yes.
Because I mean, when I was growing up, you would have thought I can't think of one person that ever wanted to be anything but a kingpin or a rapper or NBA player out of my peer circle. Yeah. I mean, I guess you know, speaking of urban romance, you know Harold Turley?
No.
He's from Oxon Hill, writes several romance books. I be seeing him in Walmart and shit.
No, I gotta go find him now. Now you about to make me go find him. I love
then to be totally tangential and segue. When you said you were surprised about the chick with the paranormal, a lot of people don't know this, but probably the greatest female science fiction and fantasy writer of all time is a Black lady, Octavia Butler. Look her up.
What? Hold on. Now you better let me put it down. Because Octavia about to come. And I'm going to tag you when she come on too. I'm going to find Octavia.
Oh, it won't be hard. She's one of the most well-regarded writers of any genre.
Thank you. I just put her name down. Thank you.
Oh, no doubt. Thank you. You'll love it. You'll love it. Trust me.
I'm going to go find her. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. You know, one thing that you said that stuck out to me, how you were saying if you could play the video games and you learned how to basically do production, basically. Do you rap or in the music? Because I was in that genre too. I was still doing. That's how I got the name Keisha Starr.
I used to hustle. I went to prison. I came home from prison. I got a college degree. I can't use it because I got a drug conviction and I got a fucking criminal justice. Because I got a criminal justice degree and I had no intent. I had no interest in going to college. I was in Job Corps and I got a walk-on basketball scholarship at the school nearby. But I didn't want to go to college, so I just took criminal justice because it was interesting. And for some odd reason at that school, you have to in your junior year you have to declare whether you're going to be in enforcements or correction. And so, I mean, this just embarrassing to me now, but so
No,
I
it's not,
decided,
because as you talking, I already have ideas in my head. Like, cause this how I sit down with my fathers and the males that come in. And as you talking, I already see that you saying that you can't take that route. And I'm sitting here like,
well,
yes, you can.
so here's the thing. So I went in the corrections part because my goal at the time was I was going to be a dirty parole officer. And I figure I fuck with like child molesters and then the other people, you know, hey, you don't want to take a piss test, bro? What's up? But I mean, this is like my mind state like 25 years ago, whatever.
Yes, no, I'm laughing. Go ahead.
So, and then when I was in high school, I got college credits from AP courses. So before I knew it, I had a degree. Wow. Anyway, the only state that will hire parole or probation officers with a felony drug conviction is North and South Dakota. And I ain't finna move to North and South Dakota to make $35,000 a year. So anyway, so after
what is that movie with the man, the one that 50 picked up? It's based off a real story. The man was in jail. He was in jail.
Well. See that's the thing, Keisha. Getting a felony drug conviction. I've been told many times, like when I couldn't get a job or I was doing some writing stuff affiliated with Sports Illustrated. They ran a background check on me. I got fired. Yada yada yada. I'd be better off with a murder conviction. The drug, it's a drug conviction. Like if you get EBT, right? You can have a murder conviction and you're still eligible for EBT. But if you have a drug conviction, you're not.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's the drug conviction part of it. And then if I had the ability to be a police officer, I could, in many states I could with a drug conviction apparently.
So could you start a nonprofit to help, like a transitional home for men that come home from jail, and then teach them how to go about getting their
I don't know how to teach them. I came home from jail. I got me a drug problem, and then so when I got done with that, I've always been in the hip hop, and this is like when blogging is taken off, right? And I look up and everybody in the videos is people that I did time with in the background. So, I was a big Dipset fan. Speaking of Baltimore, I reached out. I don't know if you know who NOE is, a rapper from Baltimore. He used to be in Jim Jones' Bird Gang.
I know my fiance probably know.
He was known for sounding like Jay-Z, like exactly in voice, but and that kind of held him back. But he was an incredible artist. So from that, I got to interview Freaky Zeke. Then when I started asking people for interviews, I sent them to Freaky Zeke. Next thing you know, I've interviewed everybody, and I'm getting freelance assignments and things.
Wow, wow.
So I mean,
so you found your niche. So you went through all of that, but found your niche.
I mean, for like half a second, then all the money in journalism went away. So here I am trying to make it work with the podcast. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's money in podcasts.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is. Amen. I can tell you that right now. So I see that you didn't make your happiness become your happiness. It happened to you, but that didn't determine your happiness. You felt, because I'm like, while you was talking, I ain't lying. That was my human services receptors went off, and I'm saying like, he could do this, he could do that, he could do this, he could do that. Let me see what he can do. Like that's how I work in my mind. Like, cause I still, when we get off the phone, I bet you it's still gonna come to me. I'm more than likely I'm gonna inbox you, or DM you and be like, hey, you could do this, you could do that. Because look, I know it's a program here. It's called Beats Not Bullets. You can start, so like it's basically kids and stuff that will be on the street. They bring them in and teach them how to do production, or have them, if they want to be a rapper, come in and have another child that want to learn to and they get them to making music and doing music instead of out there shooting, killing, gangbanging. You can think of a lot of stuff that you can do because you have the background of them all, the experience.
I mean, my wife's a public school teacher, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to lose any fans, but my whole plan with this show is, I'll have like a Yuck Mouth or a Fraser Boy or a younger artist on like one every 5 shows or so, but it's really, I'm trying to backdoor, people like you and people that might want to talk about things like food deserts or any of the, and with me, it's not a black white thing, it's a poverty thing, because every bad behavior attributed to Black people, I see in every poor community in the world. I mean,
no matter what color.
There ain't not one way that no one type of people act all the time. And
Yeah.
if you're gonna judge somebody just based off anything without knowledge of them, you know, color, creed, ethnicity, whatever, you're always gonna put yourself at a disadvantage. I mean, you know, you know, they never talk about it, but one reason why America was supposedly so great was we were one of the first countries to let women work. You know, like countries where you don't let women work, you're having your talent pool. Yeah. So of course, I mean, a female brain can invent something just as well as a male brain.
Just as well as a man brain. But you touched on that too, like when you said poverty don't have no color. As a matter of fact, I know I may get some backlash for this, you can believe it or not, but I think when an African, when in an urban community, when let's say a white family is there, they kind of get bullied more than, because it's almost like, wait a minute, you white and you here? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you should be up here. So I think they get it too sometimes double. They get it from that social class aspect of it, and then they get looked down to sometimes from another white, like a white class that's higher. Look at them like, okay, and you living here amongst them, and then sometime in the hood, you know, when I was younger, I was thankful. You see, like I ain't gonna call his name. Let's call him Trey. That's not his name, but it was a white guy that was around the way named Trey. You know that. I was fat. I was 300 pounds. So we would crack on each other outside. And as soon as he called me fat, that was my trigger. And I'm like, boy, I know you ain't talking. And your ass is down here living in Park Heights. That was my thing to get back at him. You white and you in Park Heights, you know, and always. And that, I think sometimes when you white and poor, you get it too. If you're in the hood.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. I remember when I started going to Oxon Hill Middle School, the first time it rained, everybody kept looking at me, and like at this point, you know, I've been accepted somewhat. You know, I could hoop and all that, and I was like, why is there? And finally, I was like, yo, why are y'all looking at me? And this girl was like, we trying to see if you smell like dog.
Oh my, yeah, I was sitting here like, listen, I was like, soon as you said
I don't know if people know, but you know, like it's a common misconception that wet white people smell like wet dogs.
I was told that too. Soon as you said when it was raining, I swear I was in my mind thinking it was like they was trying to call him a wet dog, the wet dog thing that's going. You know, I mean, it's just.
I mean, I was still smelling good though, so I was.
No, that's a good. But you know what? That was a teachable moment, because honestly, probably until then, is sometimes white people don't understand black people till they actually get around them sometimes. And like for instance, my fiance is 6 foot something, tatted everywhere, you know. If you just see him, you're gonna think that he is a, you know, and yeah, he was in the streets and stuff, but he's nothing like that, you know. And honestly, unless you get him there, he is such a sweet, loving person naturally that, like, even out here where we live is like, we stand out like a sore thumb, because we like one of the few black people in the community where we live. So we came around and, you know, it was just like, we were so rare that we went for a walk, and we took the kids for a walk, and we were like on the next block over and over. And one of the neighbors was on the porch. It's like, hey, you live next door to such, you must be the new family. It's almost like they not used, they didn't see.
They was calling around.
And I was sitting here like, okay, you know, but everybody was kind of looking at him when he walking down the street, like, you know, because he thing. Until he be like, you know, how you doing? Good afternoon. And then you could tell they be like, hey, good afternoon. Now he out there, hey, how you doing? They like, hi, Ty. You know, and they see at first, it was just like, okay, this big black guy with tattoos. Just like you. It was almost like, oh my God, it was a wet. He gonna smell like a wet dog. A lot of ignorance, because we haven't been exposed to stuff. Sometimes you need to kind of just be exposed and come around new people and people that, you know, from all walks of life to understand. You get this knowledge.
I totally agree. I mean, I always say the greatest trick the devil ever pulled is making poor people thinking that they're each other's enemies, while the rich people sitting back, you know, getting buku paid off of that shit.
How about that? How about that? Let's talk about that. Like, let's talk about the criminals that's at the high level. Like, honestly, you think the boy that just shot up the block is a criminal? No. That man sitting in a suit that just took all the money that was supposed to go to the school system and, you know, and pocketed it. So now there's a whole bunch of kids that's about to be, you know, their school ran down, they ain't got good books, or, you know, they took this money that was supposed to give to feed this community, and they took it and put it in a account, you know, in a different country. So now it's going to be hundreds and thousands of people that's hungry and starving. Yes, Pookie took a life, but they about to take all these people life. They messing a lot of people life, and they're going to end up dying too, because guess what? Pookie that didn't get his food when he was younger, Pookie that starved, is about to grow up. Pookie is about to go get it by any means. He's going to jump into survival mode. He will get killed by a cop, or he will get killed by somebody right in his neighborhood that he did some dirt to. I mean, this is the reality of a lot of the stuff that goes on. So although the man in the suit didn't come out on the corner and shoot the corner up,
right,
he financially shot the corner up. He putting us and different people deeper in poverty. That's eventually going to make you.
Well, I mean, we talking about Baltimore. The man in the suit overprescribed opiates.
Wait a minute. We're not even going to talk about opiates. Like, if I,
you know,
that's
the man in the suit took a whole bunch of black people in Baltimore and sent them to Vietnam and put monkeys on their backs. The ones that was lucky enough to make it home.
Ooh, let's talk about that. My dissertation is on mental health issues in bariatric and weight loss patients. And the reason why is because I'm somebody that, you know, that's just to tell you, my family from Jamaica, and I never really smoked weed at all. Like, I didn't even have a weed problem, you know, or anything like that. I had gastric bypass, and all of a sudden started wondering, like, I didn't even know what a Percocet was back in 2002. It was nothing like it is now, where everybody know.
Right.
Honestly, I didn't know it was supposed to be something bad. My doctor was prescribing me it for almost 5, it's like going on for the longest. I had no clue what it was until I didn't have it anymore. And I'm wondering, like, what's going on with me?
Right.
You know, it's like, what the hell was going on with me? And then honestly, that's when I was like, what the fuck? Like, when they started to break down, I cussed out the man when he told me that I had, it was opiates. I said, I ain't take no opiates. I took a Percocet. My doctor gave it to me. He's like, no, Percocet is opiate. And like, he broke it down. So for me, I had to go learn, what did I go through? So that's what my research was on, because I wanted to know, honestly, how many other people going through it. And let me tell you, when my eyes got open, when I went back to go interview my doctor that did my surgery, to ask him, why were you giving me something that was addictive? Why were you writing these prescriptions all these months later? You know, and why didn't you just, you know, educate me on it? Man, that man had passed away from a prescription overdose. He OD'd on my doctor that did my surgery. Yes. The doctor.
Jesus.
So it was just like, that's when my eyes first opened to,
man,
like,
thank God he wasn't tripping when he was doing your surgery.
How about that? You know what? After he did my surgery, he ended up, like, I think it was a malpractice case, so like tore them after mine. I lied to you not. I think
if he died of a prescription overdose, I mean, you know, I'm not trying to make light of the situation at all, but obviously it would have had to have bled over into his work.
Honestly, like, and then it's almost like, thank God that, again, I have a village behind me and a family, you know. So thank God I was able to have a family that I could turn to, and a fiance, and anybody else that when I was feeling right or something was going on, they knew before I even knew and jumped on it. We jumped on it. We doing this and that. People don't have that these days, you know? So that's why when I tell people, they be like, oh, you do this and you do that. I'm like, no, it wasn't easy. Like, nigga, I was battling that while doing my master's program. But I still got my ass up and went to school. I was still sitting in front of that thing going to school, no matter, even when I'm feeling pain, when I'm feeling depressed. You get what I'm saying? When depression's hitting me hard and I'm sitting here like, why the hell for somebody that's supposed to have everything that people saying, you have everything. What the hell is going on with me? And at that time, I never knew, well, now they do know that there is a chance of a transfer of addiction from food to any, like to substance, anything that sent off that receptor in your brain, that dopamine receptor in your brain, you know. So of course you give somebody that has never been exposed to opiate, and now they can't eat food because their stomach this size, but then they took an opiate And opiate make them feel better than when they have an addict. Like opiate felt better than eating a whole thing of cheesecake, a whole damn pan of cheesecake. You know, you give them that, and then their doctor giving it to them. You setting them up for failure, you know? So,
well, I mean, doctors are in the business of making you come back to the doctor as opposed to, I mean, like, you know, one thing that, like if you want to know America, look at how Walmart's laid out. And look how big the motherfucking pharmacy is in relation to that shit.
Oh, I never even thought about that.
Motherfuckers should not be, it shouldn't be more room for the medicine than there is for the clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, motherfuckers need more pills than they need coats out here.
I never thought about that. I really never thought about that. I know when they was riding down here, when the police killed Freddie Gray and Baltimore started rioting, I was like sitting here like, okay, I'm watching it on TV, praying that like, oh my God, please don't make it get over, you know, because you praying, you watching where they rioted at, you know, if you see it getting closer to your community, your neighborhood. But when I kept noticing that, like, they was riding all the CVS and Walmart, and for the life of me, I thought they were in there, and I was like, you know, they burning this city down for that, but, you know, they gonna get some you know, toilet paper, some washing soap, some shit, some food.
Cigarettes.
No, they was in CVS taking the prescriptions. They were in. That's when I knew it was serious. Like recently, it was a CVS that was robbed around here. The dumbest, like it taught me something too. This is how you know they take so much precaution and when they don't play with their drugs, like you said. Someone robbed a CVS, and guess how they found them? Like it was like they robbed a CVS and still got away. And they found them because it was a tracking device on the prescription pills, the bottle.
Damn.
I said, wait a minute, what? So I was like, they did that? Like, honestly, it wasn't when the article came out. I was like, well, how they found them or whatever? Like maybe they used the cameras, whatever, you know. No, they said the prescription bottle had tracking devices on them. So all they did was follow the prescription bottle because they said that lately, that's what, people aren't robbing banks anymore.
Right.
They robbing, you know, the prescription, CVS.
I mean, why not? You can sell it and make about the same amount of money, and you're gonna get way less time because bank robberies are super sentence escalation. Like bank robberies, like
think about it.
Like if you're gonna be a criminal. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be giving criminal advice, but if you're gonna be a criminal, sell steroids. It's a hell of a profit margin. You hardly get any time, and
are you serious? Well, yeah. Why the hell was somebody?
I mean, I've been to prison.
Oh, you know what? Because of like sports and all that.
Yeah, or just old people working out. You know, IPO, like the shit that puts more more oxygen in your blood so you heal quicker. Testosterone make you look younger. You don't gotta be no bodybuilder to need no steroids, and it's such a high profit margin. And when you go to prison, you hardly ever meet steroid dealers or pimps, because
they don't get that much time.
Right.
Well, then you know what?
Because so much mandatory time for drug dealers, violent offenders. The jail don't got no room for that. And steroids, for whatever reason, just ain't considered the same as.
Well, then that makes sense because you rarely see Pookie selling steroids. I never heard of Pookie or Black Mike selling the steroids. That's probably a Tom selling steroids. Honestly, let's be honest. So that's why it's gonna be less time. Black people ain't selling no damn steroids. Steroids ain't selling in the hood. I guarantee if somebody come on a corner with some steroids, that's gonna sit. They going right back home with their pocket full of steroids.
See, and there's the next beautiful thing about selling steroids. You only gotta see the people like once every 3 weeks. You only need like 10 to 15 clients, and you're gonna be making 5 figures a month easy.
Wow. It really is so many ways.
Because you can go to Mexico and buy them shits legal. Like if you live in California and San Diego, you can just walk into Tijuana, get human growth hormone, testosterone replacement, whatever. It's cheap, especially when our dollar's crushing theirs, you know, different times.
Someone need human growth. You know what? That's another story. Oh.
Human growth hormones help stop the aging process. So again, it don't gotta be for no muscle shit. It can be to stay looking young.
You could tell that's a whole nother thing. And look, you just show, it's just so many different ways that we can mess, people could be messed up. It's so many different ways that people could be like really messed up when you think about it. In the pharmaceutical world, like you said, it's the people with the suit on. They sitting right back. Because no matter if Pookie got perks or if Tom have steroids, they go wear their suit, they go fix their tie, and they go be good, and their family go be straight. And like that's the part that I want to change. I will work my ass off to make sure that my kids are straight. Like one thing that I'm teaching them is certain, like one thing I did notice, which somebody may, say it's wrong. I think my fiance once said too, he didn't agree with me, but he said, no, make our sons choose what they want to do. And like, cause I asked them, I always ask, what you want to be when you grow up? Power Ranger. I allow him to say that for the first 2 or 3 years. But now that he's 6, what you want to be when you grow up? Power. I was like, you're not going to be a Power Ranger.
Right.
So what you want to be when you grow up? Because we need to start planning now. And they be looking at me like, oh God, let him be a child. Let him. I'm like, well, what you think Winston III parents been doing? Why you think Winston III parents already had him set up? Why do you think he was able to take his father over his father company? Or why do you think he was already in this private school? His life was planned out already, And I think we fail to give our kids, we allow our kids to make their own decisions, which is good. I'm not saying that you can support your child, but you have to, if you want them to be fruitful and to not depend on a check from somebody, like this pandemic hit, and a lot of people found themselves in a position that they have never been for in their life. Yeah. They've been working all their life. They got unemployed. No one is a hiring freeze. What the hell do you do? You get what I'm saying? Like, what do you do when you're working for someone? These companies, they can love you. You could be there for 50 years with them, okay? When their money make 1 penny going under their margin that they have set out, your ass is laid off with the quickness, and you have to fence for yourself. So with my kids, I really be sitting down there thinking of what, thinking of a master plan. What's the next thing I can do for them? Now I don't know it, but now I know stocks and stuff because I want to buy their stocks now. And it sits and it grows and I ain't touching it. When they get older, then they can find it somewhere. If somebody let them know, I have it sitting. I have a lawyer tell them, your mother have these stocks for you. And you see it when you're older now, how much, 30 years from now or something. But I want to do that. I want to, if he said, my son said, I want to be a lawyer, all right, let me start setting this aside because law school go cost this. And you need to be going to this school to make sure that you get in a law school. We need to probably put you in private school. You need to pass this, or you need this thing to get in this. That's the type of stuff that
that's so ironic. I'm like that with my kids. I've had pushback because, like, I'm not gonna tell my daughter that she can grow up and be an NFL quarterback. I had that Chris Rock philosophy long before he or was it Chris Rock or was it Chris Tucker? It's Chris Rock. Long before he said it about man, you can't be anything you want. You can be anything that you're good at if they're hiring.
Exactly. You couldn't even, he couldn't have said it better himself. Baby, you're not gonna be a Power Ranger. No. You're not gonna be a Power Ranger.
You ain't gonna be no world tic-tac-toe champion because there ain't no such thing.
The
part where he said if they hiring is so relative.
If they hiring, the world is not set up for you.
Because like Tiger Woods ain't making $100 million in 1750 with that same skill set.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. They said
if they hiring.
They said when you able to do what you love to do, you never work a day in your life.
Right.
So for me, it is find what you love to do, and then let's work on doing something around it where you could get some money from doing it. Maximize off of it. I could have said, yeah, I love to write. I'm just gonna write books. Well, guess what? If nobody don't buy these damn books, I'm gonna sit with these books. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a degree where I can open up my practice and then do expressive writing therapy if I want to with my clients while I'm still writing these books. So, and then I'm gonna still work in Arlington Elementary School, right in my community, and still do my work on the side. So if the school system have to lay me off, I'm still gonna pick these books up and I'm gonna sell these books, and I'm still gonna see my clients one-on-one. I'm still gonna do consultations for people that want to write a book and don't know how to and don't know how to self-publish. I'm having different, candy bars is my favorite, okay? I love that girl. I love her business mind. I love everything about Candy. Candy is a songwriter. Candy is a singer. Candy own a restaurant. Candy sell dildos. Candy does it all, you know. And say what you want about her. That girl know how to go out and get a bag, you know. Now, with me, I do. I have my babies, you know, when I was 35 and 37. So I had them older. And I put them before anything. That's why I don't do nothing on Fridays anymore. I was doing stuff on Fridays and they looking at me like, you know, that's pizza day and movie night, right. Everything now, you know, I put it around them. But honestly, every move I make is for them and my family too, because I think my family has put so much into me. My mother, my father, you know, rest his soul, he died last year. I have a cousin that's only 4 years older than me. But I swear to God, you would think he was my father. We are like brothers and sisters more than cousins. And it's not nothing I want to do that he's not going to put money behind and invest in me. It's not nothing I want in this world. Listen, every car that I had, my first, like I remember driving and pulling up Jaguar. My cousin did that, 4 years older than me. I come outside, Jaguar sitting inside the driveway. You know, like even recently, come outside, you got BMW station wagon, not name dropping, but just showing he could have just gave me any car. Just, you know, I have family members that really love me. So I really want to show them back my gratitude. I want to take care of them. I want to retire my cousin. I want my mother. I've been asking my mother to quit for a long time. She probably ain't never gonna do it if I was a millionaire or not, you know. But I want the people around me to live comfortable. And so when I work, I do it for them. I do it for them. I told my aunt recently, I'm going to retire you in the next year. Retire you. My mother go sit her ass down too. And let me do the work. Because for so much, they have done it in me. And I think that's how life should be. You sow into your kids, and you know, and you water them, and you watch them grow. And then they should now do the same for you when you get older. Like in our culture, we don't put our elder in like nursing homes unless they have to be there. Unless it's really a medical. And I tell my sons that, I be like, you know, telling them, I'm like, you know, one day you're going to have to wipe my butt, right? Oh, no, we not. I'm like, I'm just letting you know. I was like, there's no way y'all putting me in no nursing homes. Yeah, I be talking to them. I was like, I'm not going to no senior citizen residential. I don't care how nice it look. I don't care if it's on the beach. I'm not going. I'm gonna be right up in your house. So,
yeah, I heard that shit. I know about it.
Or I'm gonna be up in mine. Or I'm gonna be in my house and you just come visit. You know, but y'all not putting me in on this home. But that's again, you have to teach your kids that. You know, and you also got to be a good parent. You can't be a fucked up parent. Like again, neglecting your son and leaving them, and then think when you get older they're not gonna shove your ass in a nursing home somewhere. You didn't teach them that.
You know, I done held you up a long time, but before you go, is one thing. Yes. Again, back to that article, you was talking about a time of chivalry, and you know, sometimes these days, in certain areas of society, many different ways, being chivalrous can be perceived as being I don't know, mansplaining, toxic masculinity, any of those buzzwords. So like how does one navigate the fine line of being a chivalrous gentleman with being a toxic male who doesn't let a woman do things for herself?
But then it got to be a toxic woman that don't appreciate chivalry. You know, how toxic is you that you don't? It's like it is a thin line. Like it's one thing opening the door. You know, that's a gentleman. Not saying when we go out, you order for me, because I love my food myself, but just recommending something, pulling out the chair, you know, just being overall just a nice person. I think chivalry doesn't have to be...
And that cancel culture is, you know, a lot of people say, a lot of the leading feminist voices say that the opening the door and pulling out the chair is diminishing of the woman's
autonomy too much. I mean, I think those people are team too much, and they be reaching a lot of times. They be reaching like a drowning person.
I be thinking it's intent. You know, like what's the person's intent? If I'm pulling out your chair to be nice, then I'm pulling out your chair to be nice.
Yes. But you should know your man.
Yeah.
If he pulling out your chair because he sit up straight and sit and push you in, then that's a problem. But if my man pull out the chair for me, how is that not? How can I look at that as something negative? You know, And I think some women are wounded. Honestly, they are wounded and they got it misconstrued. They do not know a good thing because they have
all
seen
women
it
are wounded. America, from the moment you start going down that grocery store aisle, the checkout counter is wounding you. 134 ways to please your man. I mean, let's keep it real here. How hard is it to please a man? And you don't need no 134 ways. I ain't ever walked down no aisle and seen a thing that told me 253 ways to please a woman.
Very much. That's very true. That's very true.
And,
it's a lot. It is a lot. It's a lot of ways.
In my experience, there's a lot more pleased men walking around than pleased women.
Because guess what? Because it's that
America tears women down.
Because it's that assumption that all you got to do is get that whap. All you got to do is have that whap and bust it open like whap, babaloo, bop, blam, bam, boom. Like that's all you got to do to please a man. But no, a real man, you need to be able to, I think a real man, honestly, can appreciate a woman that can, like, their mind, like, could you give me a mental orgasm? Could you mentally stimulate me so much that I don't even want to have sex with you because, like, this conversation
you want to keep this conversation? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, word.
This conversation is so good. I could sit up with you all night and talk to you and watch TV and such and such. And then, you know, then the sex is even banging and more because we done vibed. You know, like, it's so many ways you could take it. But as far as chivalry, no, I don't think that a man being nice and kind and generous, you know, but then, you know, you have some women who are, like, for instance, I'm not getting down and proposing to no man.
Right.
I ain't saying nothing wrong with a woman who does, but I'm not getting down on my knees.
I mean, people should be able to make their own choices without being shamed. If you want to get down on your, hey, good for you. You know, like, good
for you, not for me.
If you expect a man to get on his knee, then that's your right to have that expectation.
Yes.
And neither one of y'all got backwards thinking.
Honestly, he got to get on. I remember when my fiance proposed to me, I didn't know what he was doing. I was laying in bed and I was like, what's wrong with you? He was on his knees and then he was like,
what's wrong with you?
No, he was talking to me. He was like, mind you, he was talking and he was trying to get the words out. He was studying a little bit. I saw tears in his eyes. So I was like, what's wrong with you? He was like, and he keep trying to talk. And then I was like, what's wrong? He was like, wait. Like, then I realized that he was proposing, but I didn't need it. He didn't have to get down on one knee and all that stuff. Honestly, he could have gave me he could have took up a piece of paper and twirled it around and put it on my finger, you know, because I loved him that much that I would have said yes. And I didn't need all that, but it was good. A woman want to feel special. You want to get that special moment, you know. I don't want to get down on my knees and propose to you, sir. That's why I had that picture of the lady holding a man up when they was kissing. I do not want a man. Now, let me rephrase that, because men need emotion and love too, just as much as women. They need it. But sir, if you asking for too much, then, because the women shouldn't need it too much either. Honestly, if a woman need attention and emotions every minute, she need to go sit down and figure some shit out with herself too. I think that it's a balance. If I always have to come in and tend to your needs and show you that I love you, show you that I care, show you, then obviously you're not feeling it, and something is wrong in our relationship. If I have, because now I can't just love you. Now loving you is not done freely. Loving you is a job now. It's almost something, it's on my to-do list. I'm like, going and tell her I love her, exercise, cook dinner, give her a hug, you know, answer some emails, rub her feet. Like, no, now it's something that I'm doing purposely and I'm thinking about it too much. It should be something that I want to do, I aspire to do. And if I ain't doing it, you know, there's something is going on. We need to communicate and we can talk. It don't mean a relationship over, just mean that we need to talk. Something. You know, every relationship is not the same when it first started, especially if you going on past 5 years. You know, the first, couple years is like that honeymoon stage.
Right.
You're in love. I always say when I talk to a couple, I said, you want to know when your relationship come out the honeymoon stage, if you can't go in the bathroom with them while they shit. and talk and brush your teeth. When you start smelling the shit, that's when the honeymoon is over. Because I know when I first got my fiance, he could be shit and I don't even smell it. I'm in there talking like, yeah, so and he's shit and I'm sitting there, we talking. Now it's almost like, shut the door. He can smell it, right? It's like, then I think like, damn, well, how come in the beginning I ain't smelling shit before? It's because that love, it was the honeymoon stage, blah, blah, blah. You want to know what's real? If you can stand, now, if you can smell that shit, it's the worst shit you ever smell in your life, and y'all can be like, shut the damn door. He like, I know you ain't talking, your shit be stink too. Then y'all laughing. Right. And y'all play about who should. Now, if you really like hate him, shut the door. Like, I can't stand, something is wrong.
Yeah.
Something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So as far as I would, I had to use shit to kind of prove my point. But honestly, that's a for sure sign. Because guess what? When y'all turn 80 or 90, one of y'all gonna have to wipe each other's ass one day. I may have to wipe your ass, and you gotta turn around and wipe mine. So if you can't stand my shit now, when it's going in the toilet, you damn sure ain't gonna wipe my ass. When I'm in some Depends, I cannot. You damn sure ain't gonna touch me. So you ain't somebody I'm trying to grow old with. That's how I look at it. I always use this shit as if a nigga stop. If you can't tolerate my shit, you are not the one for me.
That's a perfect place to end this at. Hashtag no dad joke. That was some profound shit.
It was, right?
It was. Yeah. I'm not being facetious. And since you like knowledge, real quick, I'm gonna give you a gem. I'm sure you know the word facetious. That's one of only 2 words in the English language that has all 5 vowels in alphabetical order. The other being abstemious. An abstemious person is someone who's abstinent in deed and thought. So not only do they not do things bad, they don't have bad thoughts. And those are the only 2.
You see why I told you that you need to be having your own organizations and stuff like that? I would now. Honestly, you about to make me. So I'm about to go look up 2 people, and now I'm about to go look that up just to see. And if I find another word, I'm going to inbox you. I'm going to call you.
Oh, you can put me on blast in the Facebook group.
I'm gonna put you on blast. But if you're right, then I'm gonna shout you out. I'm gonna shout you out anyway. Are you gonna put this up? Because I want to share this when you finish.
Oh yeah, this will be on YouTube and Spotify.
Okay, good.
And Google Play and Amazon by tomorrow morning.
I thoroughly enjoyed being on your show. I felt like I knew you. It was laid back. It's only on it's a couple people who I have done interviews with that I could just sit back and vibe. Any other one, I'd be like, what time you say this over? I enjoyed it. I thank you. It was a pleasure. If anybody watching, please follow me on Facebook at Keisha Starr, KeishaStarr. And also please like my other page, Keisha Starr fan page. And then come into our group that Mark was discussing. It is Extraordinary, EXSTARDINARY writers. And then you can find me on my website is extraordinary.com. Same EXSTARDINARY.com. You can email me at bookkeishastarr@gmail.com.
Don't forget to get her books, Jamaican Me Go Crazy 1 and 2
Jamaican
on
Me
Amazon.
Go Crazy 1 and 2. I also have, listen, I'm trying to get, because I have other stuff too. I have Diary of a Boss Chick. You should be able, wait. In here, I have my book called, what was my book in here? What was it? Dying to Be a Star. But yeah, just look me up. And then you can find all my product and services from my website. And just swing by and leave a message.
No doubt. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. You be safe. Have a great night. Tell wifey I said hi.
That's what's up. You too. You have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Welcome to the Super Facts Show on the Super Facts Network. Featuring St. Laz, who also hosts the popular web series Gem Pop, and music journalist Mark Walter Ward. They have discussions about hip-hop, culture, society, philosophy, and everything else. Now available on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts.
The Super Facts Network, home of Gem Pop, STE, and the Super Facts Show. Now available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts from. Come check out St. Labs, G from the Shop, the Mark Walter Award.